Hey guys, Jordan here. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to take twilight photos, so let's get into it. All right, so a few variables to consider with twilight photography is really the style of twilight photography you want to do. Some people prefer earlier, around sunset twilight looking photos, and other people want it with a deep blue sky later on. So timing really matters on the look and feel of the end product of the twilight picture that you're going to be taking. You know, there are a lot of different variables depending on the look that you want to go for with your twilight photos, whether you want it to look ambient, whether you want to use flash. You know, if you do use flash, I think it's important to use multiple and also shoot to where it doesn't look like it was artificially lit. You know, that's just a personal preference. You know, one thing you want to know is the capabilities of your camera, right? And how the raw images perform in low light, right? And make sure that your camera settings, specifically your ISO settings, typically are much lower, so that if you do have to go into the shadows and maybe bring in some details from inside the house, because sometimes depending on how dark it is outside, that could be blown out. So yeah, that is definitely something to consider. You know, you want to make sure you have information throughout the entire picture. Make sure that your camera can perform well in low light, and just know where you can push shadows and highlights, because you know, with twilights you're typically, you know, adjusting quite a few different settings to get the look that you want. You don't necessarily, I mean, there are tons of different ways to shoot twilight photos. You can do brackets, you can use lighting, you can do single exposure. Just because with single exposure on those, you don't necessarily, you can capture a wide range of dynamic range at that time of day, right? You can get good information on the inside, you can get good information outside, because the lighting is very similar, opposed to if you're shooting during the day on the inside and, you know, maybe outside looks extremely bright. So, you know, the way you shoot it, honestly, the biggest variable is just to nail the timing. And I'm just talking about exterior photos as well. So my best practice, if I'm shooting like interiors and exterior twilight, say that the agent really likes how the property looks from the inside, or they want the blue windows, you gotta know what shots you're gonna take, because you have a fine window. I usually start those shots around sunset, and then I set my timer. I give myself 20 minutes and I do as much work as I can on the inside, and then head outside to get the shots. And typically I like to take multiple sets at different times and give the customer options, unless you're getting feedback from the customer up front, which is something that we're working on to get the style, because at the end of the day it's delivering what they prefer. What did they hire you? What type of photography do they want? Do they want, like I said, the darker skies or the lighter skies? Anyways, those are just my thoughts on twilight photos and some variables you'll need to consider. If you got value out of this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel, as we consistently put out real estate photography content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.